So now that we've got our character imported into Cinema 4D, let's start getting things ready to render with Redshift. So let's start up here in our render settings, where we'll switch the renderer from standard to Redshift, which is going to give us our Redshift menu up here. But while we're here, let's also set up our scene a bit. I want a nice big resolution for our portrait. So let's make it 2160 wide by 2720 high, which gives us that nice portrait shape. And as far as the Redshift settings go, let's just leave this on the basic preset for now. So we'll close that. And if we take a look at our materials, you can see that there's a load of them in here. And it looks like it's doubled up on some of these during the import for some reason. So if that happens to you, we can easily get rid of the duplicates up here under Edit and delete unused materials. And that's now looking a bit more manageable. And if we click on one of these, you'll see that they've just been imported as standard Cinema 4D materials. So we'll need to convert them to Redshift materials before we go any further. And you might have noticed back in our DAZ to C4D bridge that there's an option to convert materials for a few different renderers, including Redshift. However, if we try to do that, we get this little warning saying that the conversion may or may not work. And if we OK that, and yes, indeed, it doesn't work. Nothing happens at all, actually. And that's because the latest version of Cinema 4D and the latest version of the plugin don't seem to want to work with Redshift. It does work fine with Octane and V-Ray though. So if you'd prefer to use one of those, this is definitely an option. But for all you Redshift users out there, we're going to need a bit of a workaround. So let's close this now. And we'll do our material conversion with Redshift instead. So I'll hit Control A to select all of our standard materials. And if we take a look down here in the attribute manager, we can see all of the active channels across all of the materials. And I know for a fact that our character doesn't have any light emitting materials, but for some reason, some of the materials have an active luminance channel. So before converting these, I like to just disable that to avoid any issues later on. And now we can come up to our Redshift menu here, and under Materials, let's go to Tools, and we want to convert and replace all materials. So let's do that. And the conversion process is going to take a few minutes to go through all of those materials. So I'll just speed this up for your viewing pleasure. And that actually took about 5 minutes to replace all the materials and update all the thumbnails here. And she's definitely looking a bit different here in the viewport now that we've switched over to Redshift materials, but we'll fine tune everything a little later on. So let's leave this for now and we'll start organizing our scene in the next lesson.